It's your girl, Stacy Bullock, host of Tools for Everyday Living. And I'm so glad to be here with you all today. Oh my goodness, I know I say it every time that we have a good show. But before we get there, we must give thanks and have gratitude for this opportunity. As I say, and always will continue to say, I will never take this moment for granted to be here with you to impart what I call some of my God given wisdom. But today is not just me. We have a guest, we have a phenomenal creative. She has made it her life's mission to lift your vibration while creating a ripple of healing by teaching others how to heal themselves. Isn't that magnificent? Oh my gosh, I'm so elated. I got to get right to it. I got to bring her right here on the screen. No need for me to continue to keep going and keep talking because we're going to get to talk to Miss Theo today. Yes, Miss Theo.
Hello, happy Friday, everybody. How you doing, Stacy?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm ready for this. It's been brewing up in my system for a few weeks now. Every time I look at the calendar and I'm like, ooh, Miss Theo is coming on, and I know that it is going to be fire. This topic, let me tell you, healing the world by healing yourself first. Healing modalities for self healing. We all need to be able to heal ourselves before we think we can even begin to heal somebody else. It to or help someone else heal. But I'm just going to talk just a little bit more, because I saw some stuff on Miss Theo's Instagram and her website, and it said, "Love through you heals." Love through you heals. That's what has to come from you. That's what has to leave your body and go to somebody else. And one more part. There's truly nothing more magical than a gift of love from one human to another. As long as we share love and be authentic, the abundance of life will flow. Miss Theo, please just tell us about you, the woman, and then we'll get into the specifics and the particulars, but you, the woman.
Well, first of all, Stacy, thank you for having me here. I'm honored and grateful to be here. And also, thank you for that beautiful opening of gratitude. It's always the best way to start anything is with some gratitude, you know? So thank
Yes.
you. That was a nice reminder for me, too.
Yes.
Yes, I am Miss Theo. I am a child of refugee immigrant parents who are here, who have come here from Laos. And growing up in, a family full of different cultures, I was born in America. So coming up with two different cultures, that was definitely interesting. And, my family coming from a war-torn country, that kind of came with a lot of trauma as well. So growing up, I feel like it's always been a healing process. I am a healing artist, a Reiki master, singer, songwriter, photographer, videographer, as Stacy said. I just like to do a lot of things. And I first moved out here for music, and then I got seduced by security and money. So I fell into digital ad sales, which was so amazing to me. Like it really was. I was making six figures at the age of 25, really living like a great life, like being able to travel and experience amazing things. Helped my parents to purchase a home. And then
Mhm.
I felt like, okay, I'm not happy. Like, even though I'm making all this money, but for who,
Mhm.
what?
Mhm.
Happy
Mhm.
that I was able to help my family out, because that was definitely obviously something I really wanted to do. But then after I did that, I was like, okay, what now? Like, I don't feel happy. I'm very poor um, in my heart, but also rich in my pocket. So which one would I rather have? So I decided to just leave that behind, because it came to a point where I was just very not happy and depressed. And this wasn't who I was. And I was like, who am I anymore? Who am I? Having hit rock bottom multiple times, which I highly recommend to everybody to hit rock bottom. You know, it's scary when you're there, and it's the worst feeling ever. But once you get to the other side, like, wow.
Wow.
Yes.
Is so key that we look at ourselves and see a wow. Because after all that we went through, you know, that we go and hey, it is not going to stop, but we just handle it different. We think about it different now. It doesn't have the same impact on us that it may have had prior to the other things that look like it.
Right. I
But
say it's almost like learning how to become the observer of your life.
So good.
Instead of just like all in it all the time, like all the emotions, right? Because, you know, this is what I've been working on a lot lately. Is like not everything that comes in and out of our minds is truly authentic to what we really truly feel on the inside. That's just sometimes ego talking or society talking or other people, the way we were brought up talking. And so sometimes you gotta, you know, discern who's the truth and who's just making up stuff.
Exactly. And would you say that is a discovery that is constant?
Absolutely. As healing is, right, is also very constant. And I think that a very easy way to think about healing, which, you know, when I was early in my healing days, I was like this too. It's my ego talking, where I was like, oh, I healed from it. I'm great. I'm awesome.
Right.
And you get hit with another one. You're like, oh, okay. Oh, humbling. All right. It never really ends.
It doesn't. And I always say, you know why? Because we are spiritual beings. And because spirit is always alive, as long as we keep going, there's some things that we're going to run into. But when you talk about I'm looking here in your biography, and it's talking about sound healing of your heart, and how key is the healing of our heart. I know I may be moving like way far, but how key is the healing of our heart?
I feel like we are on earth to experience love in all forms. Okay, I just got chills when I said that. But that's how strongly I feel that. And so our heart is the center of, I think, being a human being, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically. It's the thing that pumps our blood. So it's alive. So literally, it is the center of everything.
Right. I got one more question before we take a break, before I forget it. But you mentioned that you were in the digital world and you were making a great salary. And how do you think that the process of healing from that to get to here, what tell us about it? Just tell us about it, and we'll get to what I was going to ask.
Yes. Well, to be real honest with you, it was so hard. I knew that it would be difficult, you know, and when I made the choice, right? But when you're in it, you're like, wow, because going from having a comfortable life, being the one who's providing for people, to then now going to the place where your friends are actually helping you out, because now you're, you know, kind of a broke artist. So that was required me to kill my ego.
Woo. Yes.
And killing my ego was such a big part of it. And that also meant releasing some things, jobs, people, energies that no longer, you know, vibrated with who I am in the current moment. And that took kind of a rebirth and a rebirth over and over again. Let's see here.
Absolutely. I mean, So that you just said something that really just tickled me a little bit, and I know we got to go. I'm gonna go. Hold on, wait a minute. But the rebirth part,
Mhm.
some two things that you said. That part, it so it says to the world, it's okay for you to start over.
Oh yeah.
It's okay for us to say, you know what, I didn't get it right the first time. I thought I was doing right, but I didn't get it right. So okay, I
Mhm.
gotta do it again. I have to do it better, not again, better. I have to
Yeah.
change the methodology, the process of how I get to do that. And we're gonna talk about changing our process and methodology regarding our mind, body, and soul awareness when we come back. But I want y'all to stick around with us because I believe we got some interesting stuff that's being said right now. So we'll be right back. I promise. Don't go away.
Have you found yourself wondering, what is my purpose? Why am I here? Recognizing the stranger in the mirror is the book for you. It helps us to unravel the mystery of who you really are, revealing your life's passion and why you should unveil the real you to the world. We need you. You are valuable and necessary for those who are connected to you. Do not be afraid to peek in and discover all your gifts and talents to share. It's real freedom when we reveal our authenticity. Stacy Bullock is a two-time best-selling author, transformational speaker, and host of Tools for Everyday Living TV show. She is committed to igniting resilience, personal transformation, and building life skills of her audiences and clients. The author of 2 previously written self-help books, Beaten Oil and Regain Power Through Resilience, Don't Let Your Brain Go Numb. Stacy imparts lessons that teaches readers to utilize their light as a guide for others, and discovering inner strength and resiliency to bounce back when life throws curveballs. Stacy may be reached for speaking engagements, leadership and employee training, and life skills coaching via her email at stacy@powerandresilience.com.
Like I promised, we're back. Tools for Everyday Living. I'm your host, Stacy Bullock. We come on every Friday at 4 p.m. And this Friday, we are here with a phenomenal guest. And we were just about to talk about what was this part of your mind, body, and soul awareness, a part that got you to think different, move different, heal from, moving from the 6 figures down to. Sorry about that. That'd be good if she was on the screen with us so we could see her beautiful face.
I'm here.
Right? But the mind, body, and soul awareness. But I have heard soul many times, and I'm sure so many people have. But can we just start with the awareness
Woo.
of our soul?
Let's just start with awareness, right? Awareness is the number one step for anything. And that seems to be the hardest part for most of us to get to, is the awareness part. And for soul, I feel like growing up, I always was a very deep soul, kind of like I got along with adults, I just understood certain things. I didn't like it when adults would act immature. It was just, I was like, what? And so with your soul, I mean, I believe that it's who you are really truly in an energetic spiritual level, no matter what form you come in. And what was happening was that when I started making all this money, which is great, and at the time, the more money I made, the more my soul died. So it was like, whoa. And I know for a fact when I was younger that I was meant to be here for a bigger purpose besides making money. And so I wasn't doing what I was meant to be here to do. And so that's where the depression kicked in. And so there's something called the dark night of the soul, which is basically, I feel like I've gone through it a couple times, but it's basically that point where you do hit rock bottom so bad where your soul's like, I can't take this anymore.
Yes.
You to wake up, soul. I need you to wake up and start living your purpose. Hello. And our
Yes.
pretty selves are like, wake up, turn on alarm, brush your teeth, go to work. Comes same thing every day. And I just couldn't do it anymore. It started making me sick all the time physically.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously had, mental illness, depression. I started wearing black. I'm a very colorful person, so I literally was wearing black every single day. My friends like mourning in mourning, and I would be in my room all day just sleeping and like trying to survive every day. And so that it took that level of hitting rock bottom and feeling suicidal and not wanting to be here on earth anymore for me to finally become aware of what my soul truly wanted. So I'm a stubborn person, so it took all that. I already knew it intuitively. It's like I had to unlearn all of the things that I had learned growing up.
Wow. Yes. You are speaking life into all of us today, because how many of us do pay attention to our intuition? We look at that as a spooky word, I'll say, in some arenas. But if we don't know who we are, how do we know when we need to, or excuse me, let me rephrase that. How do we know when we need to hear what our soul is saying? And I know that you like music. I love music. I am a music person. I think if you have the ability to make an inanimate object make a sound so melodious that it brings tears, it brings happiness, it brings joy, it makes people just want to dance and feel good. If you have the ability to do that, you are number one almost in my book. There's nothing that I wouldn't say that you could do wrong until you prove me different. But how can you say that music played a role in your healing process?
Oh, music is the center of my healing, actually, because growing up at a very young age, I felt like that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to create and write music and sing and perform and entertain and inspire people. But coming from refugee immigrant family, like, no, that don't make money. That's not security. Like, we need to survive here. That's like a no. So growing up, it was always no. I didn't feel safe singing at home either. So I had to deal with a lot of throat chakra stuff growing up. And then having my own trauma that had related itself to voice, as on top of that, having to heal through those things, because there are certain goals I wanted to accomplish in terms of music, and I couldn't quite get there. Every time I would try, something would just stop me, and that was my trauma. That was my self-sabotage. So music for me, I had to relearn how to fall in love with music, because after a certain relationship, I was like, I don't want to sing. I don't want to. I was just like, I'm out. And I'm literally just now starting to rebuild my relationship with singing again. And I am about to turn 40, which I am proud of. And,
yes.
And also, I'm 40 and I'm starting over. And I would have it no other way. Like, I couldn't have it any other way. This is just the way it is, And, yes, does my life look differently than most of my friends, and like, do I have stability, security in the traditional forms? Maybe not, but my soul is on fire. And that to me is way more important than all the other stuff. Other stuff I know will come as long as I stay true to my purpose.
Exactly. 100% agree with that. I mean, when we don't understand, first of all, like you said, when we don't have awareness
Yeah.
of we have purpose. First of all, let's just start simple. Let's not try to delve deep into, am I a musician? Am I a poet? Am I a writer? Am I a doctor? Am I a scientist? Let's not even delve into that. Let's delve into the part of you have purpose. We all have it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's up to us whether we want to fulfill it or not. But I tell you this, as we've heard intertwined into your story, that if we do not fulfill purpose or strive to, and that's another thing, it doesn't stop. We get to this point, we need to get to the next point and to the next point, and it continues to grow as we grow as living beings. And
Yeah.
so we have to always to know, first of all, just know, be sure, have confidence that you have purpose. We all have something to contribute.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
you using your purpose now, I'm so happy because that's how we met, by you delving into your purpose, me delving into my purpose. Yes, we were in the same room hearing the same thing, but your purpose is your purpose and my purpose is mine. But how did you know that, you know what, I need to start this journey of healing?
Mm, multiple times, right? I'm obviously the first time was when I was going through the dark night of the soul, and it was going on for so long that I was like, okay, Theo, you have two choices: either choose to exit or choose to save yourself. So then I
Mm-hmm.
chose to save myself.
Mm-hmm.
That began the long journey. And what helped me spark my spiritual awakening was going to see Sarah Wong at Energy House for an Akashic Records reading.
Hold on, we just gotta stop right now and say, Sarah Wong, yay!
Seriously, Sarah is amazing. So
Amazing.
oh, an amazing healer, friend, human being, soul guide, just magical. And when she gave me my first Akasha Records reading, it just everything made sense. And everything,
Mm.
I was like, oh my gosh, wow, eyes open. But this is why this is this way, and this is why this is this. And she gave me a deeper understanding of my purpose here on earth beyond the 3D world, more on a spiritual level.
Right, right. And that's the place where we thrive. We
Yeah.
don't we don't we don't physically thrive in this stuff until we get that full trust of your spirit, that it
Ugh.
will guide you, that you
Mm,
will know the way, that
mm.
you are good enough, that there's nothing that can stop you but you. And we
Ooh.
have to have these we have to have these invaluable wellness tools that I need you to tell us about for a few minutes, some invaluable wellness tools that you want to share with us.
Yes. Well, I will give you the quickest way to bring just positive vibes into your day. And Stacy did it at the top of this show is first thing you do when you wake up is just name 3 things that you are grateful for, because gratitude can bring so much groundedness and good vibrations to any situation. Even if you're going through a hard time, you could be like, oh man, well, I am grateful for the lessons that it taught me. And I am grateful that I didn't meet this person because of it. You know, it helps us change our perspective. And that's called alchemizing our own energy, which we all have the power to do, is to change our own energy. So starting off with gratitude. Secondly, meditating, even for like 5 minutes every morning, and if you're like, oh my God, I can't sit there with my mind like silent, it's okay. Just try a minute and then try 2 minutes and 3 minutes, 4 minutes and 5 minutes. Even if it's literally 1 minute a day, it makes such incredible difference. And I would say just try that and see how that works. And then for myself, Reiki has been a huge part of my healing process. And it changed. I practiced it for 6 months every single day after I learned Reiki level 1, which is about self-healing. And it changed my life so incredibly much that it inspired me to become a Reiki master so I could help teach others also change their lives. So energy is so important and so effective. And I feel like Reiki is a cheat code for everybody that everyone needs to know about. Reiki's the best. Uh-oh. I think you might be on mute, Stacy.
I am on mute. You think I know better, but sometimes you just get so excited and rev up, forget to push buttons.
And I love live TV too.
Right, exactly. But life is life. And we
Mhm.
can't just get bogged down on, oh my goodness, I made a mistake. It's okay. You
Can we?
can get past you can get past your mistake if you choose to. If we choose to um, do something that will help us heal, the meditation, if we just stop for a moment and just breathe. I was doing that right before the show started. I said, just breathe, girl, just breathe. It's okay. But I had to, calm myself down. And that's what I needed to do, was just breathe
Mhm.
and flow. Because here we are, mistakes and all,
Mhm. Mhm.
still fulfilling purpose. And that is the ultimate goal. We'll
Mm.
be right back. Don't you all go nowhere. We're going to come back with Miss Theo. Hi, this is Stacy Bullock of Ordered Steps Incorporated, and I am here with Miss S, and she has been one of our favorite clients who we were able to assist. And I'm going to let her tell you all what it means to her for her to be assisted.
Okay, well, before I met Stacy, I'd been homeless for about 20 years here in Long Beach, California. But since I met Stacy, she got immensely involved with me, and now I'm inside. We've been inside for a little over 2 years, and we're doing better. Me and my dog Coco, and she's helped me out so much. I don't know what to do.
We are back. So this question kind of just burned in me a little bit. How do we know I know somebody out there probably saying, how do I even start to heal? How do I even
Mm.
yeah, I'll just go leave it there.
That is a great question. There's so many ways you can start healing. And I think that first begins with awareness, which is what we talked about first, right? Just being aware. And how can you become aware is by quieting your space in your mind and releasing and removing yourself from distractions and energies that are clouding your mind and your space and your body. So what does that mean? That comes back to meditation. And just, sitting by yourself alone with your thoughts. And when was the last time you actually were like alone with your thoughts? And without a TV on, without the phone in your hand, without anything else, just truly in your thoughts. And it's in those quiet moments where you truly can hear what your mind, body, and soul and spirit need.
That's key.
Mm-hmm.
I always say the first thing that I have to do when I find myself in maybe a swirly position just in my mind, I have to say stop and just become calm. Because when I'm calm, I can do what you said at the end, I can hear.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I can hear, Then my body can begin to execute that thing that I need to do to handle that situation. Whether I just need to stay there and remain calm, or do I need to remove myself from the atmosphere. And I just you said something earlier. Not the word is escaping me a little bit at this moment, but I think it might come back to me. But what does it look like when us as humans, when we're healed and we're thriving? What does that look like?
That's a great question. How do you know that you're moving along on your healing journey?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you will probably have less feelings of low vibrational feelings like anger, frustration, being short with others. You might have more capacity to love and be compassionate, not only toward others, but toward yourself.
Mm-hmm.
A big sign of healing. And then feeling better, like your health, your immune system better, because a lot of what happens mentally trickles into your body and gets trapped there. So sometimes you think you're actually having a physical ailment, but it's actually attached to what's happening right up here or in here. So those are ways, when you just notice differences and you're just walking a little lighter, walking a little more fulfilled, maybe making connections or trying different things. And healing can look so differently in so many forms, and it's different for each person.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that part, because sometimes we try to compare ourselves to others, and we'll say, well, so and so, it didn't take them 2 years or 3 years or whatever it is to heal from something, and the person on the other side of the street, maybe the same thing happened to them, and here they are, healed in 6 months. So
Right.
that doesn't make either any better than the other. It just means that a word you used a few minutes ago, capacity. That just means that individuals, this is their ability. I've all heard in the commercial, the client and her level of thriving is totally different from my level or your level of thriving. But we are so proud of her, because after 20 years of being home without a home, now you have to figure that all out again. And if you have a challenge to go along with it mentally, you have some things to overcome. And what I like to call outlast, I like to call it being an outlaster. And so that means you outlasted your trauma, you outlasted your pain. Because at these points, this is when our capacity begins to grow, to develop more. That's a big word right there. I don't know if people even heard what you said in that word of capacity. It will give us the ability to physically even feel better. We have the capacity to love ourselves, to not give up, to keep going. Because I find that having the capacity to keep fighting is what gives me, I think, most strength. Most strength. And I know that you've gained some strength through some things that you went through. Would you change any of it?
Not at all. Even the things that happened to me in the past that were out of my control, that were wrong, and traumatic, I never not change that either, because it's so tied to the work that I do now. It's tied to the voice and the heart. So without that, then I wouldn't be who I am today. So I believe that, your story is part of, your story. So no matter whatever it is, and it's about perspective and how we can take that, hurt us and turn that pain into power.
Yes.
which is not always easy. Actually, it's probably never easy, but sometimes it's through the challenges, right? Where we really like shine the brightest. And that's something I'm really wanting to work on recently, is just doing more challenging things. You know, just to get out of my comfort zone and like to grow and to evolve. And yeah. And I just want to go back to what you had said about capacity really quick, because you know, sometimes I get the question of like, oh, my mom or dad or my brother, sister, or my friend, like they really need a lot of healing, but they're, you know, they're just not open to it. Like, how do I help them heal? And the word capacity always comes up again. Like, okay, even though you may feel like you have the capacity, that other person may not have the capacity for that right now. So if anybody's out there just feeling frustrated that someone in their life is not choosing to go on their healing journey, it's okay, because that's their journey, you know. And I know it can be hurtful and frustrating to see, you know, someone go through that, but sometimes it's like you got to let the person kind of walk into their own puddle, you know, to like, you know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I have 2 adult children, and you know, sometimes I had to back off.
Yeah.
As mom, like, you're in the way, lady. You know, you hear that in your spirit, like, oh, I'm in the way.
That's all for a mom. That's like,
yes, exactly. And I'm like, what do you mean I can't help? What do you mean I can't? You know, you just get that feeling where, nope, this is not your moment. This is their healing journey, you know, not yours. And because, you know, I've often apologized to my children for things that I just didn't know when they were growing up, things that I just didn't know how to handle. And so I tell parents all the time, you know, there are some parents out there that are absolutely did everything wonderful. Probably not. But probably not in their opinion, unless they got some other thought patterns that need to be adjusted. And we won't even go there. But back to what I was saying, all parents should be willing to help their children heal from the things that they may have even caused. You know, it's so important that we understand that our unhealed selves trickle over on others.
yes.
And you know, unfortunately, there are a lot of adults out here now who have their things have trickled over to their children, and they won't get the help for it. So you don't have children, right? So what I want you to think about it from the perspective of a parent, and now having to share or having to share with your client now of a parent who was not the best. How important is it for them to heal now?
The child?
The child.
Yes.
The adult child.
Absolutely. You know, what I tell my friends and clients who ask, like, how do I heal my parents? And I say the best thing that you can do is heal yourself first, and show and live through example, you know, because their parents probably didn't have the skills to teach them, and their parents on top of that, you know, it's just a whole trickle down effect. So
right,
it's what we call breaking the cycle, and you know, generational cycles, breaking the generational and ancestral cycles. I feel like a lot of people now are doing that. Especially, you know, those who kind of are in this generation, the younger generation as well, and also those who are children of immigrant or immigrant parents. Is like bringing a new, fresh way of thinking, and especially with, I think, in the Asian community, you know, like mental health, mental illness. It was like you never talked about emotions, you never talked about that. You just shut them, buried them deep, 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 deep down inside, and then they never show up again. But that's what they do, because they manifest in ugly ways, you know.
Yes, they do.
Yes, denial.
Yes, they do. Yeah,
and fighting and stuff. So, yeah.
and it trickles over. And I'm so glad you said what you said, though, that this not my generation, but the generation not even after me, not even my children's children's are now beginning to stand up and speak
Yeah.
up. I see a lot of young kids on the TV, and when I say young kids, they're young kids to me because they're 17, 18 years old. They're babies, and but they're standing up and taking this stand of morality.
Mhm.
And that, I believe, stimulates the healing process that they are even experiencing doing this.
Yeah.
Healing through the traumas of their parents. Because if they have the mindset, and that's another area that we can talk about, so spin that around a little bit, the mindset. These children right now, they have the mindset that, wait a minute, I can make a change, I can make a difference. So what would you tell somebody that is in, I'll say now, in your age bracket, and say, hey, we have the ability to make a change, but how do we do it?
Mm. I mean, really just start from within, right? How do we do it?
Mm.
Start from within.
Yeah.
Look within first. Put a mirror up to your own face first before we start trying to, fixing anything out there.
Ooh.
First.
Yes,
That's number one, because that's the only thing that we can truly control is ourselves.
exactly.
And once you start healing that, you just start moving differently. You start
Mm.
differently. You're exuding different energy. People notice different things about you. You're way more magnetic as well.
Right.
You're aligning everything in your life, like jobs, hobbies, love, friendships, all these
Yes.
wonderful things. So yeah, all of these, when you choose to heal yourself, you're aligning yourself to
Yes.
your highest timeline.
It sounds like harmony to me, but
Mhm.
when you just mentioned the last part that you said, um, it sounds like love that has changed the heart.
Mm.
That the frequency of love, that love, I heard in a song that said it's the highest
It's
frequency.
frequency. Yeah, it truly is.
And I'm like, if we all get on the rhythm
Ooh.
of love, Anita Baker might have been on to something. But it's like if we just get in that flow, and my definition, not my definition, but my acronym for flow, it's fully living and outwardly winning.
Mm,
So
mm,
if I'm fully living, that means that I've healed,
mhm,
that I am aware,
mm.
that I am present,
Yes.
that I now, yes, I'm much lighter. I can say that for myself from the class time that we met.
Yeah.
It's like I don't even know what lifted off of me, but I just walk lighter. I don't take things. I know what it is. Ding, ding, ding. It just had an epiphany that now that I'm not taking things personal, that was my
Mhm,
first show actually, taking other people's things and harnessing it and making it mine. I'm not carrying that around anymore. What can you like paint a picture of what somebody l- may look like in their own mind when they're walking around light?
mm. I'm like, you're like painting a picture. I'm literally seeing somebody like just face in the sunshine, wind blowing through their hair, and just feeling joyful and content, and this feeling of comfortable with themselves.
Yes, and you know what you didn't say? That
Hmm.
everything was perfect,
Right.
because it's not. But
No.
I still can have that euphoria of I often see fields of colorful flowers that
Mhm.
I'm just running through. But as you mentioned, the sunlight is
Mhm.
just shining on me, and we're just running, and sometimes I don't necessarily, maybe I can't run through a flower field, but I do take my shoes off and walk in the
Cool, cool.
grass and
Ooh,
connect myself,
beautiful.
ground myself.
Mhm.
And I believe that that is a healing modality that people can
Absolutely.
definitely, I don't care where you are, you can find some dirt to walk in.
Yeah.
I don't
Yep.
care what part of the world you're in. There's some dirt and some water somewhere that we can get next to and walk in. Look, we're gonna take another short break. I almost forgot because we just got so engrossed in this conversation of healing and love. I almost forgot to go away. Okay, we're gonna go away, but I promise you we're gonna come right back. Come out and join Ordered Steps Incorporated for a great cause. We are educating and training formerly incarcerated female veterans and homeless women.
Let's go. All right.
Celebrate! Celebrate! Yes! Magnificent! Celebrate! Celebrate!
We are amazing.
You're amazing!
Yes.
You gotta celebrate. Busy celebrate.
Letter, we can use it and make it something. So service is servant, excellence, resilience, victorious, imparting, consistently compassionate, and exceptional. That's service. We take on the servant mentality and have an excellent way to be able to produce it. But we're going to need some resilience. We're going to need some bounce back. Because somebody's going to come and try to diminish what you were doing or saying. But we like, oh, well, life is going to show up and we might get, wobbled a little bit. But then in our resiliency, we become victorious. And then we are able to impart something in somebody that actually will help. And we can be consistently compassionate with anybody, because everybody in this room may not have had the same challenges, but I tell you what, we've all got in common. We have felt pain, disappointment, rejection. All of us, we've felt it before. No matter how big or how small, we all know what it's like. So we all know what it's like to need to have compassion given to us. So now we can say, you know what? Let me be compassionate. I was on mute and hit a couple of buttons here, but I just got so excited about what I was thinking about asking our guests. We have Miss Theo with us here. She is the Reiki artist and teacher. She is a wonderful, fabulous human being with photographer, videographer. Why was I going to say choreographic artist?
Yeah, I choreograph my own dances inside my own place.
Okay. Oh, and you know what? See, I knew there was a reason why that question came out, because you just gave us a segue right into the thing that hit me, that wobbled me a little bit and make me say, yeah, I need to ask her about that. Your place, your home, where you live. How is important is it for us to provide this healing space for ourselves?
So I'm actually nomadic within LA right now. So I've been a nomad for about 10 months. And no matter whether you're a nomad or actually have a space of your own that you consistently go to, it's important to find that one thing of groundedness and consistency to keep you grounded. So if you have your own space, I like today, I just asked a client today, do you have an altar? Because she travels a lot, and she's like, what an altar? It doesn't have to be necessarily anything religious. It's more like just a special place where you put the things that make you feel good and that you look at every day that, remind you of like positivity. You can have pictures of ancestors on there. You can have, sacred items, crystals or whatever. And if that's not your thing, then you could just put up like a vision board or good. And if you're a nomad like myself, it's about having something small that you could take with you that reminds you of a grounded place. And so for me, that's my healing box of
Yeah. And when I say space, a healing space, I put the word home in there, but does that always include four walls and a door?
right now.
Maybe not, because I found a space. Oh my goodness. I think I drifted off somewhere in Long Beach. I got lost, but I wasn't lost.
Yeah.
I found this tranquil spot. I actually parked my car and got out because it called me and said, hey, I have something for you over here in this space.
Nice.
And I got out, and before I knew it, I closed my eyes, and I know I left. I wasn't there anymore.
Love it.
And I wrote the first paragraph. When I opened my eyes, I wrote a poem. And actually, first I received the next title of my new book coming out. And are you present?
Ooh.
Yeah, just let that marinate for a moment. It hit me.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I sat there, and then I wrote a poem, and then I wrote the first paragraph of the book.
Wow.
But just because of a space, just because I allowed myself to be in a space, not and always we always can't go to the water or to the beach or to a private room that you set up so nice in your house, and sometimes we just can't do that. But your space is right here,
Yeah,
in your mind. And I've talked to people. Matter of fact, my nonprofit, we serve formerly incarcerated female veterans, and I've had a lot of conversations with people who are incarcerated, and some revealed that to me, that they found a space, even if it's there in their bunk, but they found a place to go to in their mind where they can shut everything out and have this space of peace and love that builds so much capacity in you. Because I'm very thankful that I've not been incarcerated. Not that I didn't deserve to be sometimes, but I haven't experienced that and not been able to leave. I've always gone there and taught and was able to go, but I can't imagine somebody telling me I can't go. I guess I could. I was in the military for 18 years. So that's just another form of, I'll say, institutionalized things. But I wanted you to just tell us right before we leave, because time has just zoomed on by us here.
Oh, so fast.
And we have to have you to come back, because I told you it would be fun. I knew it would just be loads of fun. But you mentioned the word earlier, perspective. Can you just tell the people a little bit about what you think about perspective, and tell them where they can find you? And yeah, we'll close out.
Yes. Well, thank you for everyone who's been watching this far. It's been amazing to share this energy with you. And I believe that there's so much power in perspective. And it's in the shift in perspective that can greatly determine where our lives are headed.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're in a dark place, but you can keep the perspective like that the glass is more full and that it's okay, you fall down, you get back up, fall down, you get back up. That's going to help drive you to a more abundant life versus staying in the dark and just, no, I can't do it. And no, everything's against me. And like, no. It is all about perspective.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
absolutely.
yeah, I'll just leave it with that. So the question would be, I guess, do you feel like you have the right perspective currently in your life that will help you align to your highest timeline?
Yes. Beautiful. How can people find you?
Yes, you can find me on Instagram. I'm probably the most active on there. It's IAMMISSTHEO, which is I am Miss Theo. And then off of there, you can go to my link tree, because then that has everything else, because I have a bunch of other Instagram accounts. So I have too many things. And then it goes off to my YouTube, to my Spotify. So you can do my music, my content. I do some ASMR stuff. I do some behind the scenes stuff. You can see some stuff of like back in the day when I used to shoot for Notion magazine. I've shot a couple of artists like Demi, Chris Brown, Future, and stuff. So I've done a lot of random things. So if you want to check it out, you can check it out on my YouTube and my Instagram.
Yes, please, you all check her out. And I want to say thank you so much for you sharing space with us today, because I knew it would be an absolute pleasure. And I'm thankful that you came on here with us today and shared love and healing and how to stay healed. So that's what I want to leave with us today, is that we learn to stay healed by being aware and having an understanding that we have to heal first so that we can help somebody else to heal. Hey, I'm pretty sure, I'm almost 100% sure that there was something that was said or done for you to formulate and navigate your life's plan. I know it was something said today, but if not, if you don't take anything else away, take this away. Always be awesome.